bill is law. It took a 500-page report detailing decades of child sex abuse by the Baltimore Catholic Church for lawmakers to finally pass this bill.
I thank all the survivors that came up year after year and told their stories. They had the audacity to get their hopes up just to be derided and dismissed by this very body.
The first bill Governor Wes Moore signed accelerated the $15 an hour minimum wage to this January, bringing his mother to see the historic moment.
My mom gets to watch her son sign legislation into law that will help other mothers like her in this state.
On Monday, Governor Moore called this legislative session the most successful for any governor. The leaders of both chambers spoke about the challenges entering the session and the success in addressing them.
We responded with some of the most significant actions to protect civil rights and expand equity for this generation.
The story of 2023 is that despite a time of major transition at all levels of state government, we have exceeded expectations for the first year of a new term.
Governor Wes Moore signed nearly 100 bills and has more than 700 bills left to make a decision on. In Annapolis, Jeff Morgan, WMAR 2 News.
And the Child Victims Act could help those who were abused by priests within the Archdiocese of Baltimore. A report from the State Attorney General's office details many cases of abuse that go back decades. Be sure to join us tomorrow night for a special called Sins of the Fathers, Abuse and Betrayal in Baltimore. This is a collaboration with our partners at Scripps News and the Baltimore Sun. You'll hear from survivors of the abuse, the former Attorney General who helped to launch the investigation, and the journalists working to expose this painful reality. The special airs tomorrow night at 7 right here on WMAR.
Today marks 8 years since the arrest of Freddie Gray. Gray died a week later of a spinal cord injury while in police custody back in 2015. His death sparked weeks of protests and riots around the city. Last year, more than 60 businesses that were damaged during that time were granted $3.5 million from the city of Baltimore. Officials hope the funds would help those businesses and pour back into their communities. What was once a symbol of hate and segregation is now nothing more than a pile of rubble. The so-called spite wall was torn down yesterday near the campus of Morgan State.
Yeah, it was built to keep black students from accessing a white shopping plaza. WMAR 2 News' Brittany Verner explains what the demise of this wall now means to the community.
It just speaks to the way that the community has changed and progressed and moved forward. I'm thankful that some of the roadblocks that used to be in the way have kind of fallen down. We still have a long way to go, but I mean, you know, opportunity is here.
Since the late 1930s, a red brick wall symbolizing racially motivated tension stood alongside Morgan State University's campus, separating students from the community and the shopping plaza.
Part of that past, of course, was not too glorious, and a remnant of that past is behind me, that red brick wall.
Dr. Wilson, who's the president of Morgan State and has been for the past 13 years, says the state of Maryland purchased the institution in 1939, and it went from being private to public due to segregation.
Because the state of Maryland would not allow black students to go to its all-white universities.
And once the university went public, opening its doors to black people, the community tried to close its own by building a wall.
What was labeled a spite wall, a hate wall, to prevent Morgan State students from simply walking across the street into the all-white neighborhood and to shop at an all-white shopping center here.
And this week, what once stood signifying hate was torn down to inspire the entire community and show change is ever evolving.
The Morgan students that were fighting to be in the shopping center, to shop in the shopping center, when they were fighting for it, they would have never imagined a day that would come where black owners, black store owners would be here.
Megan Lathan, who's from the area, owns a beauty supply in that shopping center that was once segregated and is part of that change. She says this wall coming down signifies a deep-rooted history of oppression being destroyed with it.
I remember the old shopping center. I remember the Hechinger. It feels almost like a poetic justice. Like, I feel like, you know, the literal and metaphorical wall being put up to prevent black people from shopping here and thriving here is coming down.
And with the bricks coming down, leaders say they want the hate to tumble down with it and hope and healing to replace that space.
It's a full circle moment for the community and for the university.
And that was Brittany Verner reporting. Well, a neighborhood park is getting some much needed TLC after neighbors were getting fed up with the lack of upkeep. Leon Day Park needs a lot of work. The baseball field is full of weeds. The public toilets don't work. Trash gets dumped in the park, and people say nothing has been done to fix these issues for years. A neighbor shared their frustrations with us on Monday, and already there's some changes that are being made. Pieces of the broken wooden bench by the baseball field are now being replaced, and the Baltimore Tree Trust is planting more than 40 trees in the park. Those we spoke with say it's progress, but they believe Baltimore's Department of Recreation and Parks still needs to do more.
The children and the adults and the seniors who come to the park deserve a park that's taken care of. They pay their taxes, they deserve it. And just because it's in West Baltimore, this park should be no less worthy of our city's resources than Pratt Street. No less worthy.
Now, the department responded to the criticism, telling us they've been working with the community to address concerns. They know structural work is needed, and they're applying for a grant to get the money needed to make those repairs.
Well, we're just a little over a month away now from the Preakness Stakes, and a winner has been chosen in the annual Art of Race competition. Face of Victory by local artist Justin Johnson won that contest. More than 200 artists from across the country entered their work. Johnson says he wanted to focus on the true winner of the race, the horse.
One thing about thoroughbreds is they kind of have that white streak that kind of goes down the middle of their face. So I thought, oh, what about if I made that into the trophy and kind of implement elements of the horse and Maryland and the race all into one. And you have the black-eyed Susans there, which is the horse's trophy, the garland, just to try to create a very unique piece.
All right, yeah, so Johnson gets a $4,000 stipend to continue his artwork. He also gets 2 tickets to Preakness. Reproduced pieces of the Face of Victory will also be for sale at Pimlico and online.
Well, the Baltimore Peninsula, formerly known as Port Covington, is hosting a black-owned business flea market. From noon until 6 p.m. on Saturday, more than 50 local businesses will be on display. There will be live entertainment, an open bar sponsored by a local black-owned bartending company, art installations, to name a few of the attractions. The flea market has been around since 2021, but this is their newest collaboration with the Baltimore Peninsula and another organization called the Locals of Baltimore.
It's no surprise that formerly known as Port Covington, now Baltimore Peninsula, many people have questions, comments, concerns of what is it going to be. And I think that this run up to our opening day gives a kind of a sneak peek of like what we're into, what we like, what we want the rest of Baltimore to enjoy. We always say that Baltimore Peninsula is just more of a city to love.
And this is a free event for you and the family to enjoy. For more information, head to our website, WMAR2news.com. Well, students at a school in Northeast Baltimore received a copy of a popular graphic novel to celebrate the millionth book to be given out through the Scripps Howard Funds If You Give a Child a Book campaign.
Yeah, they were really excited for this. The kids at Abbotston Elementary were gifted the book Dog Man, 20,000 Fleas Under the Sea by Dave Pilkey. One of their teachers, as you can see, even got the honor of dressing up as Dog Man to go deliver those books. Pilkey donated copies to every partner school around the country that the Scripps Howard Fund works with, like Abbotston, to put on free book drives.
All the books that we've gotten in the last couple of years, they have gone home to build home libraries. So not only the children that are in our school, but also the siblings and the cousins and the moms and dads and the aunties and the uncles have been able to read all the books that we've gotten.
Which is so great, and thanks to your donations, we bought 1,900 books for the students at Abbotston. They had their book fair in January. Each child got to take home 5 books free of charge. The school also got books for their library. So Dog Man was certainly a hit, to say the least.
Looks like it, to say the least.
All right, well, hey, warmer temperatures often means more threats for severe weather, including tornadoes. So we'll tell you what you can do today to keep your family safe when a tornado strikes.
Right, and then we'll show you the face of victory, literally. The local artist that came out on top against 200 artists from across the country. Time now is 4:43. We'll be back.
All All right, well, do you know how to stay safe if a tornado comes through your neighborhood? Well, you can practice today as part of the Great Maryland Twister Test. The National Weather Service will issue a tornado alert at 10 o'clock this morning. They're encouraging schools and businesses to practice their safety drills at that time and for families to practice together once everyone is at home. This is all part of Severe Storm Awareness Week going on right now in Maryland. Each day is dedicated to a different weather hazard, and we have safety tips for each of those in our weather blog section at WMAR2news.com. So some good advice there. We get those tornado warnings. You need to know what to do.
Yeah, it seems like now more than ever, we got to be aware of this stuff, Stevie.
Absolutely. And I've heard multiple times from people that, you know, it's Maryland, we never see tornadoes here, which is false. We actually average about 3 tornadoes a year or a season. And we've already actually seen 1 tornado, and that touched down in Cecil County in the village of Calvert. So we've already seen 1 tornado so far, so 2 more to go. But satellite radar shows that we are dealing with no severe weather out there, just dealing with some clouds drifting in from north to south this morning. And you can see our temperatures are starting off very mild. 62 degrees in Jarrettsville, 63 in Manchester. Hagerstown currently sits at 64 degrees.